Hi everyone, here's Thomas once again. This time responding to Colins' new video titled Dawn of the Dead NT Style. Good video, Mr. Collins. I really liked your style in which you actually ridicule New Testament account of Matthew. Whenever I read these passages, I confess I always had the same problem. That what the heck is that? What that mean at all when he was saying all of these things and why? You raised good points. It is really odd. Why only Matthew recorded this? Is it an example of misquotation in Bible, especially in NT writings? Now, it's a major subject, and you are right, Mr. Collins, that NT accounts are not same. Though they should tell us the same story. They chose different words, different details, and some of these details are present in some and some are not. Why? It's a very good question, and I really appreciated that you brought this important subject to open once again. I think in my personal view it is the case of misquotation in Bible, as there were different writers of Bible and NT, so they wrote what they heard. I mean, it's human. Whenever you have human writers writing such things, you always have different details. I would like to see from Christian friends to come up in front and try to explain this a bit to us, because we are lost. I also want to know from you, Mr. Collins, that if you think it's a case of misquotation, then what is the reason of this? Is it God inspiring different people differently while telling the one same incident? I mean, if Jesus was put on the cross and crucified, then this was happened only once. And if these four Gospels writers were there, then they should tell us the same story, right? So you are right. It does not make any sense. However, misquotations is a major subject, and no divine book is free of such things. Yes, I am sure you are aware of the fact, Mr. Collins, that even in the Quran you have examples of misquotations present, and you can wonder why a single source of these revelations inspiring Muhammad differently. In the case of Quran, it will be a major problem, as its author is God and there is no one in between Muhammad and Allah. So if in Quran you have examples of misquotation, then it's a big problem for Muslims, in compared to Christians who can simply say, well, the New Testament writers were merely humans and humans can make mistakes. The parallel verses which I will present today describe the same event. They were unique, discrete historical occasions. For example, Allah sent Adam and Eve out of the garden only once. Allah met Moses at the burning bush only once, etc. Thus, there is only one possibility of what actually happened. However, in different surahs of the Quran, we found 2 or 3 versions of the same dialogue between those present. Since these are all direct speech quotations, we would expect them to be identical. But the quotes differ. What did the speaker actually say? Which one is correct? So I will give you examples from the Quran. For example, Allah speaks about the creation of Adam. Now, please pay attention. In 15:28, Surah 15, verse 28, Allah says, and I quote, "Behold, the Lord said to the angels, I am about to create man from sounding clay, from mud molded into shape." But the same event was mentioned in the surah, in another surah, with these words. Please notice the difference. In Surah 38:71, "Behold, the Lord said to the angels, I am about to create man from clay." That's it. Now you have words which are reduced or removed from the previous word. Now, in connection to Adam, there is one more incident which happened only once in the Quran. Here we have again same account with 2 different styles of mentioning, or 2 different accounts. In Surah 2, verse 35, Allah says, and I quote, "O Adam, dwell thou and thy wife in the garden and eat of the beautiful things therein as ye will, but approach not this tree." Okay? But if we have the same incident in Surah 7, verses 19, Allah says, "O Adam, dwell thou and thy wife in the garden and eat therein as ye will, but approach not this tree." So in 2:35, Allah said, "Eat of the beautiful things therein." But in 7:19, the same verse, same account, almost the same words, but there we have beautiful things are gone, and instead of that we have in the garden eat therein as you will. So you can eat anything. So there are 2 different accounts. Now question is, what was the real one? Now once again, these are the example of Allah's direct speech. He is mentioning a single incident, but both occasions either details are changed or things are added in it. Question is why? Now let's see one other example of direct speech with different details, though mentioning the same incident. In Surah 7 again, verses 59, Allah says, "We sent Noah to his people. He said, O my people, serve Allah. Ye have no other God but Him. Verily I fear for you the punishment of the dreadful day." Okay? But when we read the other surah which has the same account, in Surah 11 verses 25 and 26, we have this account. We sent Noah to his people. I have come to you as a plain warner. Then ye serve none but Allah. Verily I fear for you the punishment of a grievous day. In the first account we have a dreadful day, and the second Allah said grievous day. Now which was the correct information, or which was the correct version? Once again, there is another interesting account from Quran where Allah supposedly speak to Moses directly, and he said, and I quote from verses 27, 9 and 10, "O Moses, verily I am the Allah, the exalted in might, the wise. Throw down your stick." Okay? But in Surah 28, 30 and 31, Allah says, "O Moses, verily I am Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Throw down your stick." Now, what did Allah say to Moses? I am Rabbul Alameen, or was it Azizul Hakim? All other words are the same, but there is a difference of Rabbul Alameen in one verse, and the other one says Azizul Hakim. I hope that Mr. Collins, you will provide some details on these misquotations in the Quran as well. How can a single writer, while mentioning the same incident which happened only once, speaking directly, have two different accounts in the same Quran? Or we have to assume that Quran was also written by different authors who forgot to notice that they have mentioned the same event in different details previously? By the way, the dawn of the dead type incident are not only mentioned in New Testament, but we have a very interesting account in the Quran, and whenever I read it, I could not make any sense of it. Still today, no matter how much I tried, I failed to see the sense of it. Mr. Collins, I am requesting you, please explain it to me. In Quran verses of Surah 27 verse 82, Allah said, and I quote, "And when the word is fulfilled concerning them, we shall bring forth a beast of the earth to speak unto them, because mankind had no faith in our revelations." Now I am lost here, sir, a bit. Allah will bring forth a beast, an animal, and who will speak with people? Why? What will be his message, and why Allah need an animal to speak to the people where He can send a messenger or a human, right? So you see, I am a bit lost here. A talking beast admonished the unbelievers. In Tafsirs of these verses, I see all kinds of strange things. According to Jalaluddin Suyuti, the beast will speak Arabic to people. Now Ibn Kathir wrote a rather wonderful description of this animal, and he quoted some earlier Muslims, and I gave this description of this animal, and I quote, "It will strike the nose of the disbelievers with the ring, and will make the face of the believer bright with the staff, until when people gather for a meal, they will say to one another, O believer, O disbeliever." It was also recorded by Ibn Majah. Ibn Jurayya reported that Ibn Az-Zubayr described the beast and said, "Its head is like the head of a bull, its eyes are like the eyes of a pig, its ear like the ears of an elephant, its horns like the horns of a stag, its neck is like the neck of an ostrich, its chest is like the chest of a lion, its color is like the color of a tiger, its haunches are like the haunches of a cat, its tail is like the tail of a ram, and its legs are like the legs of a camel. Between each pair of its joint is a distance of 12 cubits." Now Mr. Collins, Will it be a scene when you see an animal like this? Somebody wrote comments that only Hollywood can produce such things. Well, I would say no wonder. No, it's also wrong. There are other entities who are able to produce such things in future as well. Thank you very much for listening, and peace be with you all.